I'm not really too sure what to talk about today. I don't think nothing much really happened yesterday, so I'm kind of stumped for topics today. I'm not really not really too sure what to talk about. I guess we're gonna have to talk about City, aren't we? But yeah, last night was yeah, it wasn't great, was it? It wasn't it wasn't great at all. We definitely should have won that game. And I can only blame certain members of the team, really, because if you look at it, we were all over Real Madrid. We barely gave them a sniff at goal, but personal mistakes, personal errors led to that goal. Maybe Diaz should have dispossessed Bellingham, but then again, he didn't predict that Bellingham was going to take a bad touch. That touch worked in his favour. It was brilliant from him then onwards. Walker shouldn't have played on Rodrigo onside. Shouldn't then have not put his hand up to say that he was offside when he's the one playing him onside. Doesn't get anywhere near the cross. Rodrigo puts it in the back of the net. It's 1-0. And then I was going to say we should have took our chances from there between De Bruyne to goal, but we didn't really have that many clear-cut chances. Rudiger, Lunin played very, very well. When it came to defending anyway, on the ball, maybe not so much, but I'd say, yeah, that Walker mistake definitely did sort of set the tone of the game, really. Obviously, De Bruyne's goal was class. De Bruyne was good all night. He wasn't our best player, though. I'd say Vardiol was our best player. Vardiol played very, very well. Grealish played very, very well. Doku was superb when he came on the pitch. I think Bernardo was a bit lackluster in the first 90 and then extra time. Obviously, we saw what he did in the penalty shootout. Disgraceful penalty. I think the whole backline bar Walker were good. Obviously, Walker was okay, but I can't say that he was good considering the mistake that he had leading up to the goal. I thought Akanji played very, very well. I thought Rodri was good. A lot of people said that Haaland played one of the worst two-legged performances they've seen. I thought Walker was good yesterday. He gave Nacho a lot to think about. He was pressing very, very well. He was forcing mistakes from the defenders. And again, like I said in yesterday's video, just because he didn't score doesn't mean he hasn't played well. He put a lot of strain on the defence. Obviously, Foden had a chance. He should have scored. He swung at it and he missed. De Bruyne had an absolute sitter. Like, it was literally fell perfectly for him, and he just leant back a little too much and put it over the bar. And then obviously Real Madrid knew as soon as we equalised. Real Madrid were playing for the 1-0 win, and then as soon as we equalised, they were playing for penalties, and they got their wish because they had better nerves for the penalties. And you really can't complain, really. They're seasoned veterans in this game. Obviously, we are the holders, so we should have played a lot better, but it's 14 times winners Real Madrid. They know what they're doing. A lot of those players in that team have won multiple Champions Leagues. These players know what they're doing. This club know what they're doing. If they're playing for penalties, then they know deep down that they're going to win that penalty shootout, and that's what they did. Obviously, things looked good for us at the start of the shootout with Alvarez scoring and Modric's penalty being saved, but Bernardo's penalty was an absolute disgrace. I'm not going to lie and say that I wasn't shouting it for him to go down the middle on the penalty, but I was more thinking he'd put a bit more disguise on it, but it was obvious where he was going and it was a terrible penalty. Can't really blame Edison for any of the rest. I don't think. He scored a good penalty. Obviously, Kovacic's penalty was terrible. But yeah, on the bright side, I guess Foden, Alvarez and Edison all took good penalties because, you know, it's always good to take the positives from things. But yeah, I think Rodri definitely should have took a penalty over Bernardo Silva. And I'm not really too sure who the other taker would have been because I don't really see anybody else on the pitch that would have taken a good penalty. But there we go. We're out of the Champions League. The double treble isn't happening. And, well, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be going out of the Champions League. And that's because Rodri changed my life, man. Rodri changed my life because days like this, nights like last night, days like this used to be awful. you just see, oh, City have spent this much to never win the Champions League. All of the banter on social media about us never winning the Champions League, us potentially never winning the Champions League, us having to throw another billion at the Champions League. But we've lived that now. We've lived that. We've won a Champions League, and although going out in the quarterfinals as a holders isn't great, obviously there is context to the situation which makes it a little bit better. Obviously coming up against the best Champions League side of all time, and yeah, you know, it's now Arsenal's turn to get bantered for going out and not winning the Champions League, and I can deal with that, man. I can deal with that as long as the joke's not on us anymore, because we've lived that, and it's now time to switch our focus to going to Wembley anyway, because although we're not going to Wembley for the Champions League final, we are going to Wembley on Saturday to play Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final, and we need a big performance, lads, to send ourselves to the final and hopefully get some silverware under our belt come the end of the season, because the league's not done. Arsenal will want to go on and win the league now. If Liverpool lose today, they will want to go out and win the league. So we have to be exceptional in the league now, and we have to be exceptional on the weekend in the FA Cup if there's still any hope of us winning a trophy. And again, I don't really mind if we don't win a trophy, but it would be nice. Obviously, I'm not going to be spoiled and say that it's a failure if we don't win a trophy, because maybe it is. But you know, after the joys and the highs we felt last season, I'm okay with a few lows this season, as long as it doesn't become a constant theme like it has at clubs like United. So, you know, we just got to look on further now. We've won the Champions League now, so again, like I said, these losses are a lot easier to take than the last time we lost to Madrid 2 years ago. And even the Spurs loss was horrible. I remember I was sat in the stadium with my family, and Sterling scored, and I screamed so loud. I hugged the geezer behind me, just, you know, the usual stuff. And then it went to VAR, and my stomach just dropped, and I knew as soon as it said VAR check for goal, I knew the goal wasn't standing. And then I sat in the car for what, 3 hours, 4 hours back to Bristol, just in utter silence, in utter disbelief at what I watched. And that one was tough. Monaco was tough. Lyon was very, very tough. Chelsea was bad. Chelsea was very, very bad. I got so drunk that night. That night as a whole, ugh. But yeah. Again, obviously, I am disappointed that we went out, and I do think that we definitely should have won that game, and we should have took the chances that we had a lot better. Real Madrid played their game perfectly. They didn't play great football, no, but they played their game perfectly, and not much else you can say. They're Real Madrid in the Champions League at the end of the day. There's not much you can do. You just don't dwell on it. Move on. Win the FA Cup. Win the league. Then we're happy. The double treble was never going to happen. Just like Liverpool's quadruple was never going to happen. It was a nice dream for both clubs to have their dream. It was a nice dream. Now it's time to get back to reality and get into the crunch time in the Premier League and this crunch FA Cup fixture. But yeah, man, like I said, that Rodri goal changed City fans' lives, man. It really did. And now as well, we went out, but on the bright side, Arsenal also went out. Because if we only had one season of telling Arsenal that they'll never sing Champions of Europe, then that would have been depressing. But it's going to stay that way for another year, because, and again, obviously I didn't watch the game. I was too focused on the City game. I was thinking of doing a dual watch so I could get my thoughts on both games, but I was so sucked into the City game. I was so nervous. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. And yeah, but from what I saw, they played okay, but they just didn't take their chances. Obviously, I saw the Kimmich goal. That was very, very poor defending. And the only other thing I saw was the Saka quick free kick and corner at the end, which when you're rushed for time and you need a goal, you can't basically be losing your head like that and succumb into the nerves or the tiredness. But they're an inexperienced squad in Europe. We've been there. We saw what it's like. You've just got to build up the European experience by playing multiple years in the competition, and for them, hopefully it'll come. I don't want them to win it, but for their fans' sake, hopefully one day they'll live that like we did last season. and it is one hell of an experience to be there for your club's first Champions League win. It is one hell of an experience, and yeah, I think that's all I've really got to say. Yeah, I'm not too happy today, but you know what can you do, man? What can you do? It's football at the end of the day, and yeah, we'll be back next season in the new Champions League format, which I'm very nervous to see. Actually, very nervous to see. I don't actually know if it's going to be any good or not. Like I've played Football Manager with it, and it played okay on the game, but it playing okay on the game and it working in real life are two different things. So like, you know, I can see some potential issues with it, but I can see ways where it is more beneficial. But I guess only time will tell. So yeah, comment down below who you now think's going to win the Champions League. I think it is going to be Real Madrid. Obviously, my original prediction of City is kind of no longer valid. So yeah, I think it's gonna be Real Madrid now. Yeah, comment down below who you think is gonna win the Champions League, what you thought of last night's games, and also what you think of the new Champions League format for next season. If you enjoyed the video, please like the video, and if you're new around here or if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified anytime I upload and go live. Also, follow my TikTok. I've literally just made that. It's going to be where I upload all my shorts. All my shorts are going to be uploaded on YouTube Shorts, obviously, and on TikTok. But if you follow the TikTok, there will be exclusive TikTok content over there. So please do not miss out on that. It's going to be great. With all that said, yeah, if you enjoyed the video, like it. Like I said, if you're new here, check out the rest of the videos on the channel. I'm sure you'll enjoy them. And yeah, I've been Nathan, and well, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Shut down cases, they belly dots to the can't see faces, chasing the bad guy chase it. You don't wanna be the one like Ace and like GT trying to turn them out wasted. Aye, tell her bad bitch come break it, body come mad, come shake it, then get back to the basics, bro, done shut down cases, they belly dots to the